2 years ago, the Chinese rover Yutu discovered mysterious glass spheres on the far side of the moon, and in this video we clarify exactly what was found there. You will find out in this video, so stay tuned, and if you like it, feel free to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, as this encourages the YouTube algorithm to show this video to even more people. Thank you very much everyone, and welcome. Today I find myself in somewhat unfamiliar surroundings as I am on vacation in Madeira. I think it shows a bit on my skin. I am a little red. I hope this will turn into a tan. But of course I didn't want to miss the opportunity to provide you with new scientific information. In this case, it's about a discovery made by the Chinese lunar rover Jade Rabbit. In 2019, the Chinese sent the Yutu 2 rover to explore our satellite on the far side of the moon, which is often referred to as the dark side of the moon. However, this is a very wrong term because it implies that it never gets light there and never gets dark on the other side. Light and dark side, a bit Star Wars-like.
But it is not really the dark side, because there is also sunlight and sometimes no sunlight there. It is simply the side facing away from the Earth. In our planetarium, we have a so-called mini-planetarium, or also beta planetarium,
which shows the motion of the Earth and Moon in our solar system very nicely. There you can see the so-called tidally locked rotation of the Moon, which means that it always shows us the same side. So for most of its history, humanity only knew one side of the Moon.
Only then, during the space age, when we were able to send out probes, did we see what the other side of the Moon looks like. Overall similar and also very dusty with plenty of moon dust, so-called regolith craters.
This is the side of the moon that faces away from the Earth, so people, please stop using the term dark side of the moon in your vocabulary.
By doing so, you immediately reveal yourselves as amateur astronomers. Well, this far side of the moon is being explored by Yutu 2, and it is the first rover
to explore the far side of the moon in more detail. And it has already made a lot of exciting discoveries there, including these two small glass balls which somehow look out of place. Such perfect round objects are more likely to be found on Earth, or the first thought is always,
they must have been artificially created in some way. Let's play a little game before I tell you what it's really about. Feel free to write in the comments what you think. How do such round glass beads form on the moon? The beads have a diameter of 25 millimeters, so they are not gigantic like some glass monoliths or anything, but they are also not microscopically small. Unfortunately, YouTube couldn't get close enough to analyze two of them. However, Chinese research teams already have an idea of what they might be.
So how did the two glass balls get to the moon? Maybe aliens playing around with marbles or something? But that's not likely. They are made of silicate rock. This has turned to glass due to high temperatures. Glass is not uncommon on the moon, and there are two processes that can create it. On the one hand, volcanism in the past, and on the other hand, meteorite impacts. Both events create such high temperatures that the moon rock
can become glass. In the past, there was extensive volcanism on the moon. Today, the cause of this effect is likely more due to the impact of meteors, as this also generates immense temperatures.
Which is why you can find lots of moon glass, especially in the vicinity of lunar craters.
The Chinese planetary geologist Chong Xiao, and forgive my Chinese pronunciation, describes the whole thing like this.
The peculiar morphology, geometry, and local context of the glass spheres indicate that they are anorthosic impact glasses.
Here on Earth, there is a very similar geological phenomenon called tektites, which are formed when material is exposed to high temperatures, possibly also due to an impact.
Hurled into the air by an impact, cools there and solidifies into spheres, and then falls back down as glass.
About the moon glass balls. But in principle, we have the lunar equivalent to terrestrial tektites. Now you might be saying, why is the strange man from the internet telling me about Madeira and moon glass balls? It's nothing new at all, and you are right.
Because a 40mm moon glass ball was already recovered during Apollo 16, seen in this light, it is really nothing new.
The two glass balls discovered by the Jade Rabbit have some differences. The two newly discovered moon glass balls are completely transparent.
They also have a distinct shine, which has not been seen in any lunar glass ball before, so it seems to be a new type of lunar glass ball.
Why this is the case is still not entirely clear. However, the Chinese research team sees a lot of potential in the investigation of such spheres and writes about it.
Since this is the first discovery of macroscopic and transparent glass spheres on the moon, our study predicts that such spheres should be widespread throughout the entire lunar highlands and represent promising sampling targets for revealing the early impact history of the moon.
It sounds like it is intended for Jade Rabbit 2 to travel near such balls in the near future and conduct more precise investigations. Then we will learn even more about these novel lunar glass balls and thereby also gain a lot of insight into the early impact history of the moon.
And maybe also gain new information for future bases on the moon, because it is incredibly important for us to understand how the moon is structured, whether there are perhaps still underground cave systems where most of the water is available and so on and so forth, so that we can decide where human bases on the moon should best be built.
I am curious to see what else will happen. And you might soon be able to book a trip to the moon that lasts only a few seconds, as scientists have accidentally discovered a warp bubble. So maybe we will soon fly through the cosmos like Captain Kirk, just like in Star Trek. Click on the video displayed to learn all about this exciting discovery. If you enjoyed this video, I would be very happy to get a subscription to my channel. I think I will go hiking for a bit now. Take care, everyone.